As I have previously said, this video is not for everyone. It is only for those who want to learn how to truly detect the dark, fake doppelgangers and discern from the real ones. This is a very serious topic. People will say that I'm the one who went rogue, when it's the other way around, because I don't have many followers at all and have posted almost no video in the last 2 years, almost. Most people will not take me or this seriously, because a large public of followers is seen as authenticity, genuineness, and trustworthiness. But I ask that you listen or read my guide and take your own conclusions afterwards. Only then you will be equipped to judge the level of intricate manipulation of those who have influence. Just so you know, the doppelgangers are not interested in me, precisely because I do not have a large public. I have no public at all. These next 2 videos, including this one, are the most important videos of all. If you choose to watch a video, watch these 2, which are a guide on how to discern the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians from the imposters. You will still need to think for yourself. Don't think that you won't need to. These are only a support and an aid that I'm giving for those who want to truly learn how to discern the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians from the fake ones in the middle of this chaos. Understatement. You can base yourself from these foundations, but still you will need to know exactly when to apply them, as each situation is unique. But as always, there is a pattern you can detect. I want to share that I have cracked the code about how the doppelgangers think, operate, and their strategies towards humans for the most part. I have studied them a bit, analyzed some important topics that are fundamental in understanding how either physical or non-physical dark doppelgangers act and how they communicate when pretending to be someone else to derail people from their paths while maintaining undiscovered, consistent, and coherent for the most part. Of course, I have a lot more to discover and to study, but I believe I have cracked the most important codes, the key codes. To better understand how the doppelgangers work, I based myself on these 2 main fundamental principles first. A. Understanding how someone truly helps a lost soul on earth. I have put myself in the shoes of a truly benevolent and wise extraterrestrial trying to help the souls on earth to put them back on their track. How would you help the humans if you were a wise, benevolent extraterrestrial? How would you help if you had a benevolent extraterrestrial's mentality? Each of them will help in unique ways, but as a general rule, they will always bring empowerment and knowledge of self, how to become smarter, stronger, more empowered, more intuitive, healthier, how to better discern, how to be above deceptions, and things of the like. Versus B. How the dark appropriates and takes over something, in quotes, good, that liberates, that expands the consciousness, that brings empowerment, that brings wisdom, that brings wellness, growth to a soul, and turn it into, in quotes, bad, restricting, limiting, misleading, so the souls on earth never escape the matrix, while they think that they are. I ask myself this: if I were the reptilians, draconians, dark starseeds, the controllers of the planet, how would I try to divert the followers after taking over the Taygetan and Swaruunian disclosure and pretending to be them? I ask myself, how would I copy the Taygeteans and Swaruunians? How would I try to mimic being them if I had bad intentions? Without being noticed or discovered, but at the same time, successfully diverting the people from the truth. Have I ever met a manipulator in my life? Yes, countless. So, think about how a master manipulator with no scruples or shame at all thinks. Think how a manipulator of manipulators thinks. Think how a master in human psychology thinks while being a psychopath at the same time. Think about how an extraterrestrial thinks. Or, better said, think about how an extraterrestrial controller, ruler thinks. Think about what truly makes people keep coming back and attaching their souls to the infinite layers upon layers of illusions of this matrix. If someone truly ponders upon these two aspects, A and B, like I have presented, they will truly understand the essence of the dark doppelgangers, how their engine truly operates. They will have cracked their code. If this goes to the core of their beings, they will never confuse the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians with the fake ones ever again. I will repeat this. If this goes to the core of your being, you will never confuse the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians with the fake ones ever again. As well as any other doppelgangers pretending to be any other benevolent ET or non-physical entity in channelings or any other real consciousness movements, because they are everywhere. So this guide is not only to detect the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians, but also will help you to detect, other fakers and other imposters and charlatans in other movements. I have actually started making this guide for myself. I originally did not plan posting this. So keep this in mind. This is not a formal guide. It's very, very informal. I wrote it for me. I changed a few things here and there. So, it becomes maybe a little bit more formal. But it all started by me writing a guide for myself to remind myself. I read this and many, many, many times. I knew that no one would take me seriously. So, and I couldn't, discuss this with anyone. So basically, I wrote to myself to talk to myself. But this problem can't be left in the dark forever. It must be shared and addressed now. Here is the list with my findings. 1. The Taygeteans and Swaruunians doppelgangers will confuse the individuals instead of clarifying things. They will portray as if they are clarifying things, but deep down, they will try to confuse you. You will leave the conversation feeling more confused and lost for most of the time. The information won't feel right. Things won't add up. Although this feeling may happen with the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians, it will mostly be on you because of your human mentality, lack of understanding, or shadow aspects, or whatever. The human mentality might and can clash with the real Taygetan and Swaruunians mentality, which is extraterrestrial, not human. So for this, you will need to feel the intention behind the being who is talking to you. Is their intention to help you, to expand your consciousness? Or is it to confuse you? Is it to empower you, to guide you, to clarify things for you? Or is it to fake help you while confusing you in the medium-long run at the same time? In the short term, they might seem helpful, yes. But in the long run, you will notice you will not be evolving, in quotes, nor feeling good after their information or conversations. 2. the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians will never truly present new information or content that is useful. It will always be old content disguised as new content. Pay attention. It will always be old content, information already presented in the past because it's what the doppelgangers have access to and they are trying to copy them. It will be old information being copied, regurgitated by them. Maybe with only a few twists here and there, this can happen, but the twists will always be a negative twist to disempower the people, to derail people from their paths, to implant the people with disempowering, limiting 3D beliefs, to make people come back to the matrix vibrations rather than leave it or free themselves from it. Remember, they don't want anyone seeing above and beyond. They are here to misguide you while undercover. And for this, they must speak some form of truth, which unfortunately, they do. And although yes, the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians can go back many times to things they have already said multiple times in the past, of course. But the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians would only be doing this for you to follow a mental logic, to go from the basic to the more complex, for people to follow what they are saying, to understand what they are saying or where they are trying to get at. Or, for the people who are newly awakened, for the masses, for the new followers and things like that. Now, the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians only do this because they are trying to copy the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians. They are trying to be them. And what they have access to is what has been shared up until now by the real ones. The fake ones don't want to give real information. Or if they do it, if they do end up giving real information, they are doing it with the sole purpose of decreasing the public suspicion. Because be assured that the information will not be truly helpful in the long run to bring real change in people's lives. Notice this. They will only give something in order to take something right after. Three. Again, the only truly new information they might bring will only be information that will make absolutely no difference in bringing consciousness expansion, empowerment, and real change. Real change in people's lives, real change in the world. If you study the information being given, or at least reflect over it, and if you understand how to truly help a lost human soul on Earth, you will immediately realize that the information being given is, in actuality, not useful at all. It will be most likely the opposite. It will be rather misleading, confusing, or even a little toxic, but in subtle, very, very subtle and discreet ways. The information will make you feel bad. It will make you go towards the wrong direction. Just like, the non-physical astral parasites, doppelgangers try to portray, imitate a light being. That's exactly the same, but they are physical beings. The information will tend to be negative, to manipulate people into having very limiting or very negative beliefs without the people even realizing that they are stuck in their own mind prisons. They are being indoctrinated while thinking they are freeing themselves from the matrix, or that they know more than most, in quotes, asleep humans. When in reality, you are being enslaved again and again and again and again with the exact same formula by the same rulers. Formulas that these rulers have always used with the rest of the masses in any web of movements to contain them. One thing is when the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians are presenting the harsh truth of what is happening or what has happened in the world or whatever, but they would be doing this. The real ones would only be doing this because they are trying to make you wiser and more aware. Another totally different thing is to implant you with limiting, disempowering beliefs, disguised masked as positive information that instead of making you wiser or more aware is to make you fearful, negative, and toxic. 4. One of the main goals of the doppelgangers or the people, the regressive extraterrestrial beings behind these imposters, is to focus on drama and to create drama in this community. Not all the time though, so their cover is not blown. They are smart. You will realize a tendency though in the long run. At times, you will realize they will make absolutely no effort to divert a drama subject in quotes and go to other subjects that really matter. They will say, in quotes, for example, I don't want to focus on human drama, but eventually they will tend to always go there on a regular basis. Even when I'm affirming things like, quote, we don't want to go there, but we have to, end of quote. If you don't want to go there, then why are you going there all the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you can mention something once in a while, but this is what you say. They affirm that they focus on these things once in a while when actually they focus on these things, on this drama all the time. Pay attention to their actions more than their words. They want to emphasize and accentuate drama as much as possible. That is, without losing their covers. So they will adjust this drama emphasization into a more acceptable frequency so people don't realize what is really going on. Think about how a manipulator thinks and behaves to reach their goal of destroying people from the inside, but at the same time without getting caught. And sometimes looking like, saints or even victims in the process. 5. For most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they will make you lose hope, feel that it's very difficult or almost impossible to save humanity, to win this war. They want to make the genuine, benevolent starseeds who haven't lost themselves yet to give up, so humanity loses these collective consciousness wars. You might feel the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians might make people lose hope at times, but this is not true. Again, feel the intentions. Why is each information being given? With what purpose? When presenting ugly truths, the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians only do this so people get smarter and rise above all deceptions of the civilization. On the other hand, the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians will only do this to bring people's frequencies down. It is not to elevate you. Pay attention and discern this slight but very big and important differences. 6. For most of the time, you will feel, instead of uplifted, energized, invigorated, you'll leave the conversation feeling sad or a little depressed, angry, upset, troubled, drained, distressed, discouraged, and things of the like. And you won't really know why. Listen to the intuition talking to you. 7. This is a big one. They will use flattery to manipulate you. They will glorify, indirectly worship you. They will deviate people from their paths by indirectly, or even sometimes directly, inflating their egos. This is how they make smart, powerful starseeds become extremely irrelevant. They go from extremely dangerous starseeds to tamed, harmless starseeds. And the dark are masters at that. They are manipulators of manipulators. They will make you feel awesome, better than everyone else, superior even. Remember this. You need to know in your heart that the Taygeteans and Swaruunians, the real ones anyway, or any other benevolent extraterrestrial who is trying to help humans, will never do that. It's counterproductive. It's toxic. It's that the ego is precisely the root cause of everything that is happening on this planet and why we are still in this chaotic mess. Why humanity still hasn't truly changed. Not even close to it. Not yet, at least. So, they know. And, okay, so this is from my experience, okay? Trust me when I say that the Taygeteans and Swaruunians know that the human ego, or any other ego for that matter, because other extraterrestrial beings, physical ones, they also can have an inflated, narcissistic ego. Of course, this can happen. But what I'm saying is that the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians, they know that when the ego is out of control, out of balance, let's put it this way, it becomes a monster that it's impossible to handle and to control again. And there's nothing that is going to change that person back to who they previously were, even if they were humble and, they had a lot of humility and were genuine, authentic before. It's very, very easy to corrupt someone inside the human consciousness when they are inside a human vessel. Because, apparently this is part of the human experience and everyone needs to learn from it. Even if you're stars, it doesn't matter. So, they know that the person will not change back again, not unless they go through their own experiences, their own first-hand experiences, their own life lessons. That's the only way. That is the only way. And pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm sure that you have noticed something that has to do with what I'm talking about here specifically. And it's you who I'm talking to. The real Taygeteans and Swaruunians come from an honest, humble place and only speak with noble and genuine, authentic humility. It's true. Starseeds need to understand how the dark corrupts them or corrupts any human, and it is by the ego, because they know the weakness of every single human being. And we are starseeds, but we have become humans. So while inside human incarnation, we might have the same weaknesses as the humans have. So when one has an inflated ego, that person becomes irrelevant because the person loses his or her real power to bring real, positive, sustainable change in the world. Why and how? Well, because when you have an inflated ego, you will tend to manipulate everyone and everything into fitting your own egotistical agendas for exaltation of self, for subtle power and control, rather than for the highest good of the all, of the whole. This happens all the time and without the person consciously realizing this, because inflated egos always make the person blind to all of this, as well as many other things. They're blind to their shadow aspects, no matter how much enlightened people think that they are, or how good that they are at something, or how wise or knowledgeable that they are. They cannot see their shadow. And that's what ego does. Ego blinds completely the person from their own shadow aspects. Even if the whole world can see it, and the whole world is pointing this out to them, or screaming this at them, they won't be able to see it. And remember that humbleness and humility can also be faked. 8. At first, or in certain instances, they might bombard a human with affection, intense emotions, and an excess of their time and energy. This can include making elaborate declarations of admiration and spending all of one's time and energy on pleasing the human victim. The doppelgangers will use love bombing to quickly build intimacy and trust. This also gives the victim an ideal interaction to pursue. In this way, the doppelgangers prey on a human's natural desire to feel wanted and appreciated, and turns it into a tool to increase the victim's devotion to them. 9. You will notice you will never leave the conversation feeling good or empowered. Notice this. You will feel like a sharp twinge in your heart, or you will feel nauseated in your stomach-gut area. This is real. This is your higher self talking to you. When they do this, if they attempt to make you feel good or empowered, the fake Taygeteans Swaruunians, they will not do this in a good way. They will do it with the sole purpose to inflate your ego in a very fakey, superficial way to derail you from your original consciousness and path. They play with humans' buried, deep hidden wishes. They are masters of deception by playing with people's egos. They might encourage the feelings of royalty in an indirect, subtle, but very real manner. And trust me, this is first-hand experience. I will repeat this, they might encourage the feelings of royalty inside you in an indirect manner. Usually, the people falling for this never realize this because, again, ego tends to completely blind people. Also, people usually love to have their egos inflated. I know you know what I mean. So, in a conscious or unconscious way, the victims want those perpetrators to continue glorifying or complimenting them. When you have a balanced ego, you either ignore this, or these situations tend to make you feel uncomfortable. When you have an unbalanced, out of control or hurt ego, when a person must prove himself or herself, she or he may or may not be aware of this need. These situations will make you feel energized, and you might unconsciously seek these reaffirmations when interacting with other people. But again, this only happens if you have an imbalanced ego. And the doppelgangers know this. The doppelgangers know humans' stronger weaknesses, and most people bite the bait. 10. They will carefully invalidate and disqualify certain things the Swarus and Taygeteans have said in the past. while presenting the newer, more updated information according to them. They might distort because sometimes when they explain something that has already been shared, they will say something like that it was not truly how or, the way that it was shared or even the exact information that was shared. They will distort some things because they know about new followers that they have no idea what the Taygeteans Swaruunians have shared in the past because precisely they are new to this community. And so they, when they talk about certain information from the past, you will feel that it's very incoherent. It doesn't make sense. It might make sense on the surface, but deep down you will know that it doesn't make sense. And when they explain that something already shared in the past, you will realize or you will feel like they don't even really truly understand what was shared. Not that they don't, but it will feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like it will feel like it. Or they are purposefully already changing or distorting what was shared. I could give millions of examples, but this will get too big, and I'm sure that you can find many examples out there. And I know this because when you truly understand something, like to the core, like profoundly, when you deeply understand something, and you will realize when other people don't. So when they explain something, you will feel like they don't really know what they are talking about because that was not what was shared. You know what I'm saying? So again, they will carefully disqualify and validate certain things that Swarus and Taygeteans have said in the past, while presenting the newer, more updated, in quotes, information according to them. Although the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians might do this, but when the real ones do this, it is truly a more updated information because new data came in. It is not to mislead you or misguide you like the fake ones are doing. The doppelgangers will invalidate and disqualify past information, sometimes key information, sometimes not, but usually information that they are afraid of. So yeah, they will invalidate past information from the real ones only because they are afraid of something inside this specific information shared in the past. Or they are, the clones are programmed or told by their superiors or creators what to disqualify exactly. The fake Taygeteans Swaruunians will always try to remain consistent and coherent, so they will not always do this because they need to maintain appearances. But be aware of this. They will update the old information into a newer, in quotes, better information, where the new information will most likely have twists, so the information becomes wrong or incomplete or less empowering, more disempowering, or more confusing, more limiting, more restricting, things of this sort. They will be specially designed and programmed to direct the masses into going to the wrong direction. (11) The Taygeteans and Swaruunians doppelgangers will slickly manipulate you emotionally into doing whatever they want you to do, but in a very clever way, in a way that you won't truly realize what is going on until some months or even maybe years have passed. They will play with feelings of superiority, of belonging, of physical or emotional needs, and of pity. You will also notice they have a hierarchical type of behavior. Again, pay attention to their silent actions rather than their words. They are very chatty, but not because they are spontaneous or full of energy like the real little Sophia Swaru, for example, when she speaks, but because they have agendas. Pay attention to where they are focusing on. Are they truly trying to help and empower you? You must become smarter and notice when someone disguised as a benevolent ET, angel-like being, any positive entity or whoever, is trying to gain your trust in order to manipulate you later on. 12. The fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians will humanize the real Taygeteans and Swaruunians in ways that are not good. Basically, they will humanize the Taygeteans and Swaruunians whenever it is convenient for them, but also at the same time, they will make them sound more extraterrestrial when it is convenient for them and for their agendas. The Taygeteans and Swaruunians have humanized themselves a lot, only so the humans feel closer to them, feel a bigger connection. They humanize themselves to better approach the humans and to better help the humans. Also, sometimes the real ones do this to better understand them. But their mentality is not human. They understand the humans, but again, they are not humans. Humans only see the parts in which they can see, that their consciousness permits. This is why humans see the Taygeteans and Swaruunians as humans. And although they look like us, eat like us, go to the bathroom like us, have physical bodies like us, emotions, they have disagreements among themselves and they have problems, they do not have a human linear thinking. 13. The real Taygeteans and Swaruunians feel much more, innocent. They have an innocent aura. It's really hard to explain this with words, but you will notice and feel like that the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians will have much more of a human mentality and a tinge of negativity, toxicity to them. Or maybe a lot, it depends on the day. It's subtle, usually, and it's tricky, but it is possible, very possible to perceive the shift and change in energy. One cannot fake innocence because when they fake it, usually sounds, just like that, very fakey. So pay attention to your gut here. 14. The Taygeteans and Swaruunians doppelgangers want to make benevolent incarnated starseeds who still haven't lost themselves to lose hope and to give up. So they can, or they might use, in quotes, hope porn as a weapon against real change. And again, to make the starseeds believe that someone is already doing the job for them. So there's no need for the starseeds to do anything. This couldn't be further from the truth, and I'm sure you know that. They also might and can brew, hope among the people, so if that something ends up not happening, everyone's vibrations and hopes will go down. The real Taygeteans and Swaruunians never offer, they never ever offer blind hope or blind faith. They offer the harsh real truth because you need to be aware of it and stop being deceived all the time. And remember that the real ones do not focus on negative situations. They only make you aware of what is going on, of what is happening, but they do not focus on these situations. To make you aware of something negative and to purposely focus on it to hurt you indirectly or to hurt the masses, the public that is watching, it is entirely different. 15. You will feel that the fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians have an agenda in convos with them. You will feel they are following an agenda behind some conversations and leading you to certain facts and things you may find out by yourself or you may conclude by yourself, but mostly because you were forcefully guided to reach those conclusions which were already previously planned by them for you to have. They will put you in very persuasive situations and give you very compelling arguments, all pre-planned. This will happen indirectly. These conclusions and beliefs they want to guide you to reach by yourself in order to share with the masses, the public, are never positive. And although some might seem harmless or even, positive because they are disguised as positive, so even though some might seem harmless conclusions and beliefs at first, in the medium long run, you will realize they are never positive for you nor for anyone to have. They are trying to shape your consciousness into something specific. They are trying to make you harmless for them and for the matrix. They follow a specific long-run, previously agreed among themselves plan. Remember that they don't really think in their short run. All this manipulation will be very indirect, and you might not even notice for yourself what is truly happening. At least not after some time has passed. Be smart. End of part 1 for the guide, How to Spot Fake Taygeteans and Swaruunians. Thank you for watching, and be smart out there.